Did you know it's possible to transform one thing to another using the OpenTelemetry Collector? For example, you can take log lines into the collector and read those and transform it into a count or a metric that gets sent to your backend system. Well, let me show you how. So here's our log file, and let's imagine we want to count the number of times the phrase new customer appears in this log line. We're not, for this demo, interested in any other log line. We just want, in this case, the number 6 to come out of it. Option 1, of course, is just to read the log file and send all of the log lines into a backend system and then filter there. But the problem is you're getting a lot of noise, a lot of log lines that you're never going to care about. So to save cost, what we want to do is just have the number 6 come out of this somehow. So let me show you how that works. If I run my collector now, we can see that we have a value of 5 and then a second value of 1. So of course that's 6. Why 5 and 1? Well, that's to do with the way the collector is reading that log file, batching, basically not batching, but streaming them to the next component in the chain, so we get 5 plus 1. You're not really in control of that unless you use the batch processor. So I'm going to stop this collector. I'll clear that down. And I'm going to enable a batch processor that I've already got set up here. If I save that now, we should get a single metric that has a value of 6. Perfect. Let's have a look to see how this magic is actually working, because we're not actually sending the log files anywhere. Well, we've got a file log receiver, of course. We're reading file.log. I'm starting at the beginning of the log file every time, just for this demo. You wouldn't want to do that in production, of course. You'd want to start reading where you left off. Then I'm batching up the log files or not. That's up to you. And this is the magic here. We've got the signaltometric connector. And we are reading logs. Yeah, we know that. Or we're expecting logs coming into the signaltometric connector. Of course, this name and description will be something real in your case, and we're incrementing the value, the count, basically by 1 every time the log body contains a regex or matches a regex where it says new customer. And that's it. That's how it works. And then we're just exporting to the debug console, and this is how we put it all together. It uses the connectors. So the way to read this is we have 2 pipelines. The logs pipeline, this is where we start. We read file.log and we then batch up those log lines and export them to the signaltometric connector. Now, an OpenTelemetry Collector connector is a bridge between 2 pipelines. Think of it like a sort of glue piece, and this one actually converts between 2 signal types. So here we are obviously sending those log lines as a batch into the signaltometric connector. The signaltometric connector, God, it's really difficult to keep saying, is doing its thing, counting, and at the end of that process we have the number 6 in our case. Then we have a number. So we then send that number as a receiver. So the connectors are both a receiver and an exporter, and we send that number 6 to the metrics pipeline and then export it to debug. Now, of course, in reality, this would be a real back-end system, but that's the power of the, let me see if I can say it, the collector connectors. They are both a receiver and an exporter. And that's what you get. We are taking our log lines and we are transforming them to a value. In the process, we don't send any log lines to our backend system. And so we're saving, in this case, we're saving a lot of money because we're not storing the log lines, we're just counting them. I hope this helps. As I say, you can do this with logs, metrics, traces, distributed traces, spans, and profiles. The last thing I want to show you is that these conditions can either be an AND, so for example, is match whatever, or they can be an or. So if you do that, that would match where the body is new customer or my second condition. Hope this was useful. Hope it saves you some money on your log ingest. See you again very soon.